Becca. Welcome back to my channel. This is officially my second video. I'm going to go over today the top 5 tips that I have for resellers, whether you are new to the reselling game or just getting started, or if you're ready to turn your side hustle into something a little bit more profitable, or if you're just getting stuff out of your house. These are some great things that I've learned since I started reselling in about 2019 that have really helped out. You can follow me on Instagram for more of these, but in a little bit more of an explanation. I just did a post on them, but to get started, my number 1 tip is to start small. The first common mistake, especially for someone that has been watching a lot of YouTubes and following along as people have started to grow this kind of like more prevalent industry or means of making income at in your household, is that you need to source. The best way to start is to start small. Start with items around your house. When I first started my reselling journey, as a lot of people call it when they introduce how they got into this market, it was during COVID lockdown, and I decided that I really just needed to declutter some things, and I knew that we were in the process of moving into a new home, and so I really wanted to get some of the items that I had out of my home. And what first brought me to Poshmark was finding something I couldn't find. That I'd had a Lululemon jacket, I couldn't find it, I wanted to replace it. I looked on Lululemon.com, looked at my closet, found the name of the jacket from 2 years ago from a receipt or in the closet, I can't remember which one. And I was able to find the style name and number, and that's how I was able to locate it, by searching on Poshmark from 2 years ago, from a receipt or in the closet, I can't remember which one. And I was able to find the style name and number and mark. Even if people aren't on Poshmark, the closer that you get to what that original item was named, and also include great descriptions such as the type of dress, the style. I've often looked on Pinterest to get more information about fabrics and patterns to be more descriptive and help people find things what they're looking for and bring them to my store. That's something called search engine optimization. So the better keywords you have, the better you're able to find people that are looking for your stuff. And also, the other great thing is Poshmark does something called search engine marketing, which is when they bid on keywords and terms, and those also help generate people to that platform, which is inevitably how you get more people to see your listing. So first tip, starting small, start with your own stuff. You know where you bought it, you know how much you paid for it. The only thing I would caveat here is that don't overvalue your items because you paid full price. I know a lot of people probably think that, everyone on Poshmark that's reselling is going out to garage sales and, liquidation and finding things at Goodwill for $1. And that is the case for a lot of things that you're going to find and a lot of larger resellers, but at the same time, overvaluing your items. I mean, a lot of jeans that I paid full price at $200 for are just not going to resell for that amount when you're putting them on Poshmark. So the second tip I would say is consistency, and it's key. So whether it comes to listing, sharing, or even checking your closet, it's important to be consistent. If you want to sell things on Poshmark, which is assuming why you're watching this video, which is why I'm making this video, in order to get that sale, you have to make sure to share your closet, share it often, and it also helps to list things often. So whether you get through like 20 items one Saturday and you slowly share them throughout the week. I know it's a great feeling to have those listings posted, but it's also great for the Poshmark algorithm to see that you are an active seller. So I currently have a day job. I share my closet 2 to 3 times a day, depending on when I think people are really active, or when I see people liking things, I might go ahead and share my closet again. So being consistent is super important. Also, I think the first mistake I made was not doing this, and I had someone buy an item and I checked my closet a couple days later and hadn't realized I sold anything, and then luckily I was able to reach out to them and they were still interested in buying it, probably because they want to be an ambassador, and you have to sell, or you have to buy something from a brand new closet to be an ambassador, but that's a whole nother video. The second one was I had an offer and I finally counter offered, and then they still bought it, and I explained to them that I was new and I didn't know what I was doing exactly, and they were very nice about it. But so that's basically the key to being consistent and being able to answer people's questions. If they have a question about material, or if this runs large or small, it's best to be very descriptive in your description. So we kind of talked about how you can do that in the first tip, but also the consistency makes it easier. That being said, the other thing that is crazy to me, which I did not find out until took me way too long, is only share your own listings. I know this is something that is totally against the whole Poshmark reselling, culture, and they really encourage it within the application. But at the end of the day, the listings that are shared last or most recently are what shows up at the top. I know there was a recent kind of a few months ago kind of crazy thing with the Poshmark algorithm, but it is true. Since I've stopped sharing other listings, I was following hundreds. I can't even tell you how long I took going through and following people and sharing people's stuff that was similar to mine, which is almost even worse because then I'm basically competing against myself. So share your own listings, do it often. And also, thing is, try to buy something on Poshmark every once in a while. Anytime that I need something, or sometimes just because I'm on there a little bit more than I should be because I'm selling on there, I find things that I think I need. And I find a great deal every once in a while, and I will notice that every so often when I buy something, it ends up generating a sale for myself. So whether it's a facial cleanser, or I even got an ice scraper on there for my car last month. We do live in Alaska, which I mentioned in my first video, but being said, it's great to source things there. Also, you're supporting other people that are doing the same thing as you, and I think whether it's proven or not, for me at least, it's shown to generate sales for myself. And also, the whole point of Poshmark is to shop sustainably, resell things, put things to use, and rather than going out and buying it from a big box store for full price, it's a great way to find things you need. The other thing I would say about consistency is with your listings. Like, if you're going to post a very nice description and have pictures of everything for one listing, maybe use a stock photo, even though it's frowned upon, but I always include something about, please note, see all pictures. Some stock photography is used for aesthetic, style, or fit. I always use that as a disclaimer in any postings or listings that I do with stock images as well. But it is a great way to show how things fit and how they look. It's a lot more aesthetically pleasing. It's easy, and it also takes a little bit of the legwork out of how many photos you need to take, I think. I would recommend, even though I don't do this as much as I should, is take measurements, do it while you have the item out. We'll get to a little bit more why this is important in my third tip, but descriptions, photo, condition, keep things consistent. Don't have a lot of detail on one item and then not a lot of detail in another. Don't have a crappy photo with poor lighting on one image and then the next listing you have is great or you took it from someone else. It just doesn't look great. And when people are scrolling through your closet, it looks a lot better to have an overall look. I mean, I haven't totally went, and when people are back, and I mean, some of my listings are a year old, with some of like the dresses and other things that I've had on there for a little bit longer, and also some of the things I will sell within a day, and that's also important to figure out when you're looking at comps and how to price things. But for my third tip, organization. Make it a habit. Start it now. You might have 5, you might have 50, you might have 500 listings, but it's never too late to get your closet organized. I love spreadsheets. I live in them at work. For some reason, I did not start one, which is one of my biggest regrets. It's great to know where you got something, if you are sourcing, how much you paid for it. If you are cross-listing, which we're going to go into when I start talking in more detail about that, it's great to know where you got something from, how much you paid for it, and then if you start having a lot of items, being able to know where to find them. So for tip number 4, I listed avoiding the haters and keeping things clean. And what I mean by this is the reselling community is actually very friendly, kind, helpful. I've learned lots from watching people's YouTubes. That's why I'm actually making this YouTube myself. And essentially, you're going to come into situations where you missed something. There might be a zipper that doesn't work that you thought did, or, you know, there's also scammers that are going to want you to send them an email or operate or pay outside of the platform. And I just want to reiterate that no matter what platform you're using, eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, some new ones that I'm going to also try out in future videos and show kind of a little bit the differences on those. The whole point is to have that protection, not just for you as the seller in your items, but also for the buyer. They feel more comfortable buying from somewhere that they've bought from before, that they know that they'll be able to get their money back if you send them a bag of rocks instead of a pair of jeans. So keeping things clean and keeping them within the platform and playing by the rules is just the best way to go about it, in my opinion. I know people do trade. I know I've seen people put like emojis with like PP, like let's do this on PayPal. And yeah, some of those higher price items, like I think this week I sold an extra Apple Watch and I sold it for like $600 and I got $490, or I don't know how much it was. It was kind of a little bit of hard given I spent like $700 and it was brand new and I missed the return window by like 5 days, but it's just kind of one of the trade-offs for being able to have this marketplace and also that protection. And I also know that some people have actually started filming themselves packaging up their orders and using stickers like these to seal their box, because that way they know that the buyer is not trying to scam them and say they sent them something they didn't, which did happen to me once with a Louis Vuitton wallet, and Poshmark actually helped me out, but it took a really long time and it was kind of discouraging. So use this to your benefit, play by the rules, and also, last but not least, you're gonna have people that are like, oh, this doesn't fit, or I had someone say this shirt looks see-through, and I even had one of my friends try on this shirt and wear it in pictures for me, and it was a kind of a thinner material shirt, but brush it off. You're gonna have a couple negative reviews here and there. You might have, or love notes, you might have people open a case. Sometimes I don't even deal with those. The worst thing I think is switching labels. I recently had that happen. Both of the buyers were really understanding. It happens very infrequently, but when it does, it sucks because you don't want to you know, you want them to get their items fast, and Poshmark jumped in. I tried to send them both different labels that I paid for, which was a mistake, but Poshmark jumped in, and since they were mislabeled, the two exact items, it wasn't like a 3 for a situation where I had to figure out what was where. Poshmark went ahead and just charged me a few extra dollars and sent them both labels to send to each other, with protecting their information, and both of the buyers got their stuff. It was a couple days later, but it does happen. They do help, so keep it clean, play by the rules, and don't worry if you get a couple people that say they don't like your closet, or you sent them a wrong thing, or there was some little undisclosed whatever on one of your items. It's not that big of a deal. Just learn from it, do better next time, and first and foremost, always check your labels. I like to write on the back of my label as soon as I print it off what is actually going in this box, and then I don't mark it as shipped until I put everything in there, verify on I use my computer a lot, verify that I do have the right items, stick a note in there, and call it a day. And then I have USPS do a scheduled pickup once a day, depending on what time it is. Sometimes that adds a day to my shipping time, but either way, it is easier, since I do work full time, to have them pick that up. If it's a couple things, sometimes I'll bring it to work, or if I have a lot of really nice things, like on a Monday where I had a bunch of orders over the weekend, I'll actually take that directly to the post office by the airport, because it's pretty close to where I work, and it gets people their things faster, and that makes them happier. So for tip number 5, I would say do not shy away from over communicating. You know, I've gone out of town or like left for a long weekend and didn't put my closet on vacation mode, because I knew I would be back within that 3-day window if I did get any sales while I was gone. I typically don't send out offers to people if I'm, you know, gonna be away or busy, but if people do end up buying something, I'll just shoot them a message and say, hey, by the way, I'll be able to ship this out on this date. Is that okay with you? And 9 times out of 10, that's fine. I have also, especially when I post a lot of my new with tag Lululemon items, I don't always post a lot of pictures. A lot of times I will impulse buy things on sale, and I really just don't need them, and so I will use stock images, and I'll look at my receipt, and I'll try to make sure that I have the right size. And one time I had a size 14 instead of a 16. I messaged one of the buyers, they found something else in my closet, I swapped it out, easy peasy. So just be responsive, answer questions, reply to comments, and do it in a timely manner, and a lot of times you will be successful. That being said, again, back to your descriptions, the more things you put in there, the more details, the less questions that a potential buyer has, the better chance that you'll just end up getting an offer or even a sale without having to answer a bunch of questions. On the next video, I'd like to talk about pricing and how to price your items, and also a little bit about what I use to figure out that price, how I send offers to likers, when to do that, and a little bit more about tools that I use, such as my label maker or numbered stickers, to keep organized and keep things efficient. Thanks for watching. If you like this, you can like it or subscribe for more hopefully helpful tips.